Bloomberg's Ryan Chilcote is in London this morning with the president and CEO of Nokia, Steve Elop, and the CEO of Microsoft, Steve Ballmer. Ryan.
That's exactly right, Eric. Thanks for joining us. Let me start with you, sir. Stephen Elop from Nokia. Investors have reacted rather negatively. What is it that they don't like about this deal?
I think that we're very excited today to be able to announce the strategic intent of entering into a relationship with Microsoft. Over the course of today, including later during our investor conference, we'll be giving a broad range of details of not only the relationship with Microsoft, but all of the elements of our strategy that we believe for the long term is the right answer for our shareholders, for our employees, and also for our consumers.
But what don't the investors like about this?
I think the investors are going to be interested in understanding the ways in which Nokia will continue to differentiate over time. And what we're pleased about in our relationship with Microsoft is we have established a unique partnership, a partnership where we contribute hardware ingenuity, Microsoft contributes software, and together we bring together some of the best services assets on the planet to build a third ecosystem, to start a three-horse race.
Steve, let me ask you about that. So you've got about 5% of the market right now when it comes to mobile operating systems. In a year's time, how much of the market do you think you'll have?
More.
Well, look, so Nokia...
We're doing great work.
Look,
we think this partnership helps give things acceleration. There's no percentage of making a forecast. We brought a really well-received product to market.
Sure.
There's no question we've got a long way to go in terms of improving our market share, but we're optimistic about the partnership with Nokia and with the innovation.
So Nokia has about a third of the handsets out there. So does that mean that you all of a sudden, if you had 5% market share, can assume that you'll have around 40%?
I think it's probably never fair to assume anything, and I think both of us have had chances to learn about that. But the chance to really drive innovation by thinking across hardware, software, service, to really build Windows Phone from the silicon vendors, Nokia and other handset vendors, that's a great opportunity.
How quickly are you going to get your operating system onto those Nokia phones?
As quickly as we can.
This year?
We're not announcing any dates today.
Maybe not this year.
Let me say this. Nokia will
We say nothing.
Yeah. All right. A lot of the commentary we've heard so far this morning seems to be very upbeat about the chances now for Microsoft to introduce their operating system to the world. And some people are suggesting that you pretty much sold Nokia's strongest asset, its market share, when it comes to these handsets, for nothing. Did you get a raw deal?
We got a great relationship that we've established here, because what we've established is the opportunity for Nokia to direct its innovation against a contemporary operating platform, to take advantage of Microsoft assets while contributing our assets. We are creating something here that will be a fundamental challenger in the market overall. And that's what the marketplace has needed. So as we have already heard, and you mentioned the upbeat commentary, whether it's from consumers, also the operators around the world, a huge amount of interest, because we've created an entirely new dynamic in the mobile ecosystem.
Steve, let me ask you this. How did two companies losing market share right now become a winner?
Well, I don't know if we're losing market share. We're actually building off a small base. We're building off a small base. And, obviously, the combination makes sense. To take a product that has been very well received, but not very well sampled yet, our new Windows Phone operating system, and to be able to not only take advantage of the footprint, which is unparalleled, that Nokia has around the world, and the innovation, which is first class, both in mapping and location services in addition to hardware. But today is the start of another opportunity, which is all you ever get in business, is another opportunity to go out there and prove yourself.
Speaking of that, Stephen, one of the criticisms, that I know you're one of the biggest critics of your own company, or at least have been taking a very hard look at it. We all know from that
memo. I like to encourage the company to move forward aggressively.
Encourage change. How can one of the criticisms is that it's an insular place, that it hasn't been paying attention to what's been going on elsewhere. How are you going to change that?
Well, it starts from actually helping everyone understand what the opportunities are in the marketplace. And over the last several months, we've gone through a deliberate process of opening the doors and saying, what are the best opportunities out there? And we looked at the Google opportunity, we looked at the internal opportunity, and what we said as a company is that the best opportunity is to enter into a strategic relationship with Microsoft.
Steve, how does that partnership work? So they're in Finland and they get on their computers and there's teleconferencing, or I mean, are you
think
going to send people to Finland and they're going to send people to Silicon Valley?
They're a global company with a strong and central presence in Finland. We travel all over the world to do our job. Our engineering team is headquartered in Seattle, but yeah, we've had a lot of people in Finland and, in fact, even in Iceland.
Iceland.
There you go.
Turns out it's the place to be.
It's important to have more of a presence in Silicon Valley?
I think it's important to make sure that, first and foremost, the teams are well aligned, that the management structures, the objectives, the way we work together is very clearly defined. And that's work we've already done. The teams are already working together on those first devices and executing well together. And yes, there's also cultural assimilation. We're bringing teams together from different parts of the world in different ways. And already I could share some stories with you about how those teams are really working effectively
Some of your
together.
critics say you've got too many employees. How many of the 60,000 people you've got making mobiles do you actually need now with this partnership?
So all we've said at this point is it's quite clear that we do have to lower our operating expense.
Sure.
There's multiple ways to do that.
Yeah.
We have some significant inefficiencies in how we use contractors and how we do distributed development, but there will be a significant impact on employment as well.
Okay. $8 billion research budget. If Steve's team is now in charge of making the operating system, how much of the $8 billion from your research and development budget do you need?
Somewhat less.
Somewhat less, like half?
We're not announcing any numbers, but I'd invite you to our investor conference later today.
Steve, what kind of phone do you use?
A Windows phone.
A Windows phone. Can you show it to them?
My Windows phone is not on me because I thought it interfered with your equipment.
Gotcha. Fantastic. So you're using a Windows phone.
I've always used a Windows phone.
Steven?
The question is, what do I carry?
Yeah.
I carry two of the leading devices from Nokia, a Windows phone, an Android phone, and an iPhone. You got to know the competition. You got to know your own products.
Well, there you go.
My pockets are heavy.
That's it from here, Eric. Obviously, you just heard from Steve and Steven announcing this new partnership between Microsoft and Nokia, obviously hoping that it's going to go very well.